coach. You feel a lot better when you have RJ out there on the floor. I'm still trying to find a way to bring him back next year. And, I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm going to try. And but it was nice having him out there and having a full roster and being able to go out there and compete. And I told the guys that the thing as a coach that is the most enjoyable to me is to see them having fun. It's really easy to have smiles on your face for your own individual success, but it's even better to have a smile and celebrate other people's success, and I felt like our team did that today.
Hubert, last week against Memphis, we were asking about the pace, and you said you actually thought they could go faster.
Yeah.
Today, was this closer to what you were envisioning, and just what did you make of the speed in which they were able to kind of go up and down, get dunks, things like that?
I did like the pace. I like the pace after the 12-minute mark in the first half. We were up by one. John C. Smith was shooting 50% from the field, and I just told him, you know, what allows us the transition at the pace in which I want to from defense to offense, it starts with defense and getting rebounds, and we weren't getting stops and we weren't getting rebounds. From that point on, we did a better job of guarding the ball, getting stops, getting rebounds, and then allowed us to get out in transition. In terms of the pace, I did like it. I still feel like we can go even faster, but I did like the pace and way that we lived a lot in primary break, where we're getting layups and dunks and deep post catch and getting fouled, get to the free throw line, and quick open threes by our best three-point shooters.
Did you have a set number? Did you have a? Did you have a set number of lineups that you wanted to see going in today? Did you see them all, and are some of the lineups that you saw that you really liked, that you like what they saw and you think you can use more of?
Yeah, you know that with this group, there's a number of different lineups that we could play. I think we can go big. I think we can go small. You know, there's a lot of athleticism and versatility out there, and I really think the lineups, in terms of which ones work the best, could be game to game. And so that's one of the exciting things about our group is our ability to be able to change and tweak and pivot and alter in terms of who's out there on the floor and be able to get the things that we want to on both ends of the floor. But I did see all the rotations and the lineups that I wanted to see, and I was really encouraged by the versatility and the type of depth that we had.
As a quick follow to that, you had three different starters in the start second half. Was that just taking a look at different groupings?
Yeah, that was just, you know, I was treating it as the game didn't have a halftime. Those guys came out and those guys came in. It was no more thinking other than that. It was just seeing just different lineups and starting the second half, starting that lineup.
To piggyback off of that, Hubert, in terms of what we're talking about with the different lineups, when you have Elliott, RJ, and Seth out there as sort of a three-guard group, what kind of stress can they put on a defense in terms of the speed? I know they're not 6'6", but you know
they're fast.
Right, their attributes. Like what sort of stress do you think they could put on other teams?
Well, I've told you guys a number of times that I like as many playmakers out there on the floor as possible, and you know, when you have guys like RJ, Elliott, and Seth out there on the floor, you can always get into your offense. You always have guys that can create a shot for themselves, but also for their teammates. And so when you run a play and you don't get a shot, we have multiple guys that can create a shot in our freelance offense, late shot clock situations that allow us to get high percentage shots. And so, yes, they can put tremendous pressure offensively on the opposing team, but I think they've really stepped it up defensively. You talked about they're not 6'6", but they're doing a really good job of their ball pressure on the ball, being able to keep guys out of the lane, and I've been really proud of them defensively and rebounding as well.
Hubert, when Ben was playing at Vanderbilt, the numbers show that he played above his height, and he finished tonight as your guys' leading rebounder.
Yeah.
What is it about him that gives him that nose for the ball on the offensive and defensive end?
Well, you know, he is one of the things with Vin tonight. I was really proud of him, you know, with his effort. Obviously, rebounding the ball. He was the only guy on our team in double figures in rebounds, but he also led the team in offensive rebounds. And so, you know, I felt like his motor was really good. He was in the right spots at the right time on both ends of the floor. One of the things with Vin that he continues to get better with every day, you know, there is a transition as a transfer trying to fit into a team. And one of the things that I have been telling him a lot is I don't want you to fit in. I want you to be Vin. You know, I know RJ's here and Seth is here and Jay Wash is here and, you know, we got JB and Ian and Drake. I need you to be Vin. I didn't recruit you to be a role player. I recruited you to be a big time player. And so you do you, and then the team will fit around you. And I feel like every day he's getting more and more comfortable with that.
Hubert, Ian was in attack mode today. Was that more what you expect to see from him? I mean, 10 free throw attempts, 8 fouls drawn, and just seemed like he was more aggressive and putting pressure on the rim.
Yeah, that was really good for him. One of the things that we had talked about is because of his athleticism and he has good size, I think he can get to the rim. And I think he can create fouls and get to the free throw line. He can shoot to three. He's got a great mid-range jump shot, but I told him I don't want him to bail out the defense. I think he has an ability to put major pressure on the rim, whether it's in transition or one-on-one situation. So him getting to the free throw line 10 times, that's exactly the way that I want him to play. And I felt like he was more comfortable tonight compared to being on the road against Memphis, which is, as a freshman, he's still a freshman. And so I was really proud of his effort today on both ends of the floor.
To go back to what we were talking about with Ben and the rebounding, 4 different guys with 7 or more, how much have you continued to stress that
Oh my
just
gosh.
in the game? Okay.
Yes. Guys, I mean, if you ask them, I mean, it is every day, every step. I keep telling them, you know, Armando and Harrison are not coming through that tunnel. Like, the number one determining factor for us in terms of the outcome is rebounding the basketball. We have consistently got to get our 3, 4, and 5 to the offensive glass, and we got to be a great rebounding team. It doesn't matter, we obviously it would be great if Armando and Harrison was still here, but it doesn't matter. Like, we have a group that can box out and rebound. We have the athleticism to be able to do it, and it's at the top of the list. And it's something that is communicated to them every time out, all throughout the game, every practice, and on off days.
Are you satisfied with the strides they're making?
I am.
Okay.
I really am. And I told them that I rarely use stats, but I use stats to confirm what I already know. And so just talking to them about defense and rebounding and confirming how that translates to us being able to get out in transition on the offensive end and how it benefits them. And I tell them this all the time. I said, I told them this in recruiting, and I tell them this now. I'll never ask you to do anything that's a benefit for the team that's not a benefit for you personally. So rebounding the basketball is a benefit for you, but it's also a benefit for the team. And as a coach, that's the only thing that I ask for.
Seth was just talking about when he's the 3, he's got to hit the glass,
Yes.
the offensive glass.
Yeah.
How effective an offensive rebounder and weak side rebounder do you think he can be?
I think he can be a great offensive rebounder. I mean, his athleticism, his ability to crash the boards, I think can be a huge benefit for us. It is tough going because you have different responsibilities. You know, the 3, 4, and 5 get to the offensive glass, but the 1 and 2 have defensive balance, have to get back. And so going throughout the game, a lot of times, you're not thinking, am I the 2 or the 3? And I think he's getting more comfortable with that every day. But I think he can be a great offensive rebounder, and that's why I want him to go to the glass. He was that in high school. I think he can be even better here at college.
Take a couple more. When it comes to Drake, Drake was another one that kind of seemed more comfortable, more aggressive compared to obviously that Memphis game last week. And we talked about his versatility in the offseason as well. But what was it like seeing him kind of show that, throughout the course of a game? I know it's an exhibition, but throughout the course of a quote unquote real game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I thought he was, good against Memphis as well, and his length and athleticism and defensive instincts are elite. I mean, just on the ball, off the ball, he can cover up a number of mistakes, and that block at the end, I've seen that a number of times. Getting a block and just catching it in the air, and so. And then on the offensive end, his ability to shoot and attack the basket, he can even post up. And as talented as he is, and all of our freshmen are, they're still freshmen, and so they're still learning, and every day they're growing. And the best thing about Drake, Ian, and JB, every day after practice, they come to me individually every day and say, how can I get better? How can I improve? So you bring that type of talent, and you combine it with a positioning of listening and learning, that's exactly what you want from young players.
Last one, Lewis.
Hubert, one thing that, talking with Elliot and Seth about the front court, just the space that's there now compared to last year with Armando. How have you seen this team kind of grow to adjust to that spacing now that you have a couple of exhibitions under your belt?
Yeah, our bigs in terms of Jay Wash and Vin and JB, especially especially Vin and Jay Wash, their ability to be able to make plays on the perimeter really gives us a different look. They can handle the ball, they can pass, they can shoot from three. And, everyone talks about spacing. You can space everybody in four corners and put one guy at half court. If they can't shoot, there's no spacing. And so in these lineups, we've got multiple guys that can knock down threes and putting teams in closeout positions. We can put the ball on the floor. And our goal is always to attack the basket through post or penetration. We'll just have to do it maybe a little bit differently as opposed to having Armando down low on the block and being able to throw the ball to him.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.